Gentlemen, let's get into this lead story. Now, look, Halo Infinite, for me, is one of the best Halos that I've ever played. I have nearly 23 days in Halo Infinite. I make no apologies for it. I continue to play it. There is a new what is it? It's not a campaign, it's a new operation that's dropping soon. I've completed every operation from start of the fall of Reach to current. There isn't one that I haven't completed. I absolutely love it. The single player, in my opinion, was one of the best stories we've had since Halo 3. Same with the multiplayer, and it is a bloody shame, Jamie Moran, that we're not going to get a continuation of the story, but it's fine. So something happened last month, Jamie, that set the internet and the gaming world ablaze. And that was the confirmation of not only a new Gears game, but a game that goes back to E-Day, striking at that nostalgic core or chord for what makes Xbox Xbox. Now, it's safe to say, without seeing any of the tropes or the funny jokes that PlayStation gamers and haters of Xbox want to make, oh, it's Gears, Forza, and Halo. Well, that's the Trinity. Those are the pillars that have built up the brand. Now, granted, Forza Horizon 5, phenomenal game. The updates have been ridiculous. Gears of War, depending on whether you feel about 4 and 5, I happen to really like 5. They're going back to the original way that they made Gears and how it was played, like 1, 2, and 3 with E-Day. They've already confirmed that. We know that they're hard at work at the next Horizon. Horizon 6 is going to be out. Is it going to be in Japan? Well, I hope so. But, Jamie, we have a story here from Insider Gaming. It was written by Mike Straw. Inside Gaming is obviously Tom Henderson's website. It says for the lead article, Halo 7 gets new lead designer. Now, why this is important is because, well, we haven't heard much. We were hoping, at least I was hoping as a Halo fan, to see something, but there are some talks in the background that this could very well be not only a secretive developed title, they don't want to let anything out the bag, but this could be a launch title for the new Xbox in 2026. Now, I don't know how long they've been working on this game. Apparently, it's been a minute, because obviously we had the launch of Halo Infinite come almost a year after the launch of the Xbox Series X console. So it's look, 343. It's had a lot of turmoil. There's been a lot of turnover with leadership, lots of big changes that I'm very happy with. It seems like they're back on track, at least for the multiplayer. But when we talk about the single player, which for me is at the heart of Halo, Unreal Engine 5 is going to be used for the first time on this series. It's a big deal. It's going to look amazing. How it's going to play, well, listen, we don't know. But I can tell you, based on the story, we do have confirmation that there is a new lead designer. His name is Dan Nindy. Now, it's Gniandy. The G is silent. And he is the new lead designer for Halo 7, or whatever they decide to call it. Now, I have a comment. Now, first of all, who is Dan Nindy? Who is he? Well, he is or was someone that worked at Creative Assembly. He's worked at Bungie for a decade. He was the lead designer on the game Hyenas, and he is now running the show when it comes to being the lead designer of the next Halo, whatever that's going to look like and be called. We know that it's going to be an Unreal Engine 5, but this is what he had to say. Pretty interesting stuff. And I quote, "After speaking with a ton of cool teams about rad projects, I'm getting a shot to work with the chief and friends." Now, Nindy posted this on his LinkedIn page last month. "I love Halo, and I'm very excited to be a part of adding to its legacy." Look, there's not much quotes, but this is a big deal. They seem to be putting very special people with very special talents in place to tell the next Halo tale. We need Master Chief to return in a big way. I think that if this is a launch title, right along with the potential of a new Gears game, if it turns out that E Day is 2026, we are waiting for Forza Horizon 6, which I think is going to also release in 2026. We're talking the Trinity launching the same day as a new next generation console. I think that Xbox is here. I think everyone that has doubted them should definitely be giving it a second look. Let's talk about the Halo information, Jamie.
Yeah, so when it comes to Halo, I think Microsoft knows that, that is like their number one franchise. Like they want to treat that like very special because like Halo launching with the original Xbox. Let's be honest, if there was no Halo, there would be no Xbox.
Correct. Yeah.
And Halo 3 on the Xbox 360 was absolutely massive. Halo 4, people hate on Halo 4. Halo 4 sold over 10 million copies. So it's like Halo 4 was amazing. But I think Halo not launching with the Xbox Series X and S was like a big like negative because everyone was looking at the Xbox Series launch saying, "Hey, there's no launch titles outside of Gears Tactics," and there weren't. And
I mean, he was on the cover of the box. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it was weird because like, oh, you get your brand new shiny console, nice. You turn the box around, there's a picture of Master Chief. It's like, okay, so when do I get to play this? A year from now. And when the game came out, like, by the way, I love Halo Infinite's campaign. I love it. It makes me feel like how I did back with Combat Evolved. Stepping out in the Halo ring for the first time, that wow factor, and having an open world in a Halo game really works. And we live in an age where I don't think that many companies now can put out a game that just has a traditional 8 to 10 hour linear campaign. Like that's partly why I believe we have so many open world games now to inflate the time to justify the price. That's a story for another day. But when it comes to Halo, like Halo Infinite's multiplayer was dogged on for when it first came out, and now it's at a place where it's loved. So now you have to think of it like, does Microsoft continue supporting Halo Infinite in its multiplayer form as it is now, as well as working alongside the new Halo as Halo 7 and Unreal Engine 5? Unreal Engine 5, and like that might happen. But also the Unreal Engine 5 thing, like it's not just the visuals. Like obviously you're going to have like amazing visuals, but you also have destructible environments, procedural generation, enhanced lighting models, things that make worlds look alive. And like Halo Infinite, it's a great game, but it's not the best looking game. I've seen a lot of people compare Halo Infinite to Halo 5 and say Halo 5's better. That's just an art choice thing. But like Microsoft needs to get their hand on Halo properly because Halo Infinite had a pretty bad, road to launch when it came out. People loved the campaign. The multiplayer's in a good place now. But Halo hasn't really been in a good place when it comes to the fan base for years. Halo 4 came out, people complained about Sprint. Fun fact, there's people that have complained about Sprint since Halo 4 came out and still complain about it. Wow. What I think they complain about. But Halo just hasn't been the same for a long time. It's because other shooters got really popular. Like Halo 3 was the shooter to play on console back in 2007. But when Call of Duty came out, Call of Duty is an easier game. I'll put it out there. Call of Duty is an easier game to learn and play. Halo is much harder to play multiplayer. And Halo hasn't been as big. Microsoft knows this. Fortunately, they own Call of Duty now. But I think they really need to make Halo like absolutely massive again. Because
yes,
when the Series X and S came out, like the fantastic console, but there was no game to major first party game to play on the console. I bet Microsoft felt that. So I think they're mainly looking at trying to make Halo as big as it used to be. Have, like you said, a launch title. I think it makes sense to have it as a launch title. Unreal Engine 5, the tools have came a long way over the past few years, and the development time can be reduced when it comes to Unreal Engine 5. So I think that the franchise is in good hands. Over time we've heard about Halo Infinite single player content being cut, expansions not happening, all that stuff, which pains me because I've had less content to play because I don't play multiplayer anymore. This is good news, and I think it's the news Halo needs going forward.
It absolutely does. And I think that there is an opportunity to quote unquote Infinite Umbra make it right with what happened with Halo Infinite, right? It was supposed to be a launch title. The game wasn't ready to go. They had to delay it. They delayed it a year. And well, this would be an opportunity to well, I guess make it right, so to speak. I guess I want to repeat myself. Now, real quick, I want to just respond to Spider Man 356. He said, Boom, who said it was Unreal Engine 5? Well, I just did a search and 15 articles popped up, and it was originally reported upon by Ames from Seasoned Gaming. Now, I pulled up a story here from the FPS review. Just, again, because I want to clarify, because I obviously, love context with the conversation. It goes on to say, now this article was written by Peter Bros Dolly. And it says 343 Industries is reportedly working on the next Halo game, and it has been said the developer is using Epic's Unreal Engine 5. Rumors about the next Halo game began last spring when veteran art / game director Justin Dings, who worked on Halo Infinite, Call of Duty Black Ops DLC, Modern Warfare 3, listed on his LinkedIn page that he's also worked on an unannounced Halo game. It was then in October 2023 when Seasoned Gaming's editor-in-chief, Ains, also revealed during the podcast that the next Halo game was being worked on, but as a part of a restructuring strategy was being built using a popular game engine, which of course was then clarified as Unreal Engine 5. So again, if there's no bigger fan of Halo than Ains, which by the way he's an assassin in that game, but this has been reported upon for quite some time. So yes, I mean, did 343 say that they're doing it? No, but if you look at many of the stories that I pulled, there are people who are working on this game in their LinkedIn have Unreal Engine 5 as the engine. So again, if you do your investigative work like I did, you'll find the story. Just look for it. All you got to do is type in the next Halo Unreal Engine 5. You'll find 15, 20 stories pop up, and it is happening. It is going to be. Now, are they going to change that Unreal, the current Slipspace engine in multiplayer? No, that is going to remain separately from what I understand. That's going to continue to do what they do. Slipspace works fantastic with multiplayer. Let's get a Unreal Engine 5 game going. But Umbra, I want to go to you on this because look, it seems like they're taking Halo seriously again. And I said this in the green room before we went live, and I kind of want to reiterate this for the fans out here. All you have to do is look at the reception that came the way of Gears of War E-Day. People were crying. People were excited. People could not wait to play the game. There was a reinvigoration of the series. If they could bring back Halo with the same tenacity for a launch of a new console, it is going to be something else. Let's get your hot take on this, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, Ains, shout out to Ains. He's not the only one. I'm a fan too. I'm a fan. Anyway, sorry I couldn't get the song out of my head. No, man, this is a dream come true to me. I've asked for for them to use Unreal Engine for Halo for years. Like I didn't in my wildest dreams believe they would do that, but it's beautiful to me. The thing is too, is like you say they're taking Halo serious again. And that's the thing I take away from this because we had this showcase come through the showcase season and last year and we had no Halo. Like that's kind of unheard of. Jamie said it earlier where he pointed out that Halo is Xbox and he's absolutely correct. You cannot, and I mean, we've have so many different quotes. I mean, Phil's infamous, we lose our way with Halo, we lose our way with Xbox. Like we have so many different quotables where you could point to and say where that you don't treat the franchise that built Xbox, the tent pole that built Xbox, you don't get that right, and everything else kind of falls to the wayside. Now, I don't know how necessarily true that might be nowadays with the the bevy of franchises Xbox now has, including Call of Duty. But to me, it always will matter. It's my favorite franchise of all time. So I would love for them to get this right and to nail that down properly. I think if they're, and to me, I think if you have this much radio silence, it's pretty clear that they're doing something behind the scenes. I don't know. I don't think that you continuously hear rumors of Unreal Engine, and we've been hearing for now the better part of 2 years, and there's nothing there to substantiate it. I think you get that much smoke, there's some fire somewhere. So I believe it when they say that it might be Unreal Engine 5 that they're using personally, and I hope that it is. I hope it is because I want Halo, and as gorgeous as the Slip Space engine turned out to be for the Halo campaign, Halo Infinite campaign. Unreal Engine would take it that much higher, right? It's like going from Halo 3 to Halo 4 to me. Like
Yes.
I think it would take it to the next step. And people, I know many were like, "Oh, I don't know, Unreal can it handle the movements we need?" And yeah, of course they can. And they have capable people there with Xbox, and we already know about the teams that go around from the coalition and everything else that are now in house to help with.
Well, they have a whole team that literally
Mhm.
what they wind up doing is because the coalition was moving from space to space, and now they have dedicated a team
Mhm.
that is kind of like what Sony has. You know, they have a special team that
Right.
comes in on the back end that does all of these, you know, cleaning up and assisting. Well, now we know that there is a coalition team that doesn't have a name. They're just the coalition, but they are a team that goes around. And I would imagine that they're spending a significant amount of time with 343, who has never used the Unreal Engine. It's going to be a big deal.
Absolutely. Ballantone, I'm going to give you a moment to take that back, that statement that you just made. The Black John, yes, I do believe in anything Unreal because it's worth
Just look
believing
at the
in.
results, man.
Yes.
Just look at the results. That's all I have to say. Just look at the
Absolutely.
results.
Ballantone, I'm waiting for your apology. Go ahead and get started on that, brother. But no, I'm excited for that for many reasons. Halo should never be. It should never be a case where we have any uncertainty when it comes to Halo. In my opinion, I just don't think that should ever be the case. So seeing all these different things pop up because it's kind of a sad state of affairs because while Infinite is a good game, I think objectively it's just a good game, right? A great game, even. And you see a lot of even its initial review scores, I think, is in line of what it should be and what it should have got, right? And then you have the issue with the lack of content and everything like that. None of that should ever be an issue for the
Not with
franchise.
Halo, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you
So,
don't want to see that with any game, but
mhm.
specifically Halo is one of those games. It's a goat. It
Yeah.
is why Xbox exists. And hearing, you made mention of it, the famous or the infamous quote from Phil Spencer, if we lose our way with Halo, we lose our way is well, you lost your way.
Mhm.
It's been lost, and I'm not saying I'm not giving unnecessary smoke to film team, but this is where we have to give them smoke because Halo Infinite is a great game. The multiplayer, but for me, the best multiplayer since 3, without a doubt. The single
No
player
question.
was absolutely phenomenal, but
Mhm.
there's so much missing from it that we're never going to get. So you did lose your way. I'm happy that we see they are strategically putting people in charge that are going to make this IP matter. It's going to be an important part of where Xbox goes next.
It is, and I know now they have Pierre. What's his last name?
I know you're talking about. He's now running the
Heinz,
studio. I get his
yeah, I
name.
think it's Heinz, Heinz, or
Heinz.
Hintz. I'm not
Yes.
sure how you say it. I'm sure it's Heinz though. But now that Pierre is there doing his thing, we get to see what it looks like now under him, and we already know about his turnaround for the MCC. And I mean, even with the Halo Infinite, they definitely added. They started to turn things around. But the problem is that it had lost its player retention now. Like so many
Yes.
people have dipped away from Halo that it's a crying shame to me, and I don't think that should ever be the case. It's a very competitive field out here with all these different games now, so you can't falter and have these issues with a staple like Halo and and hope to keep people in that loop of continuously wanting to play this game. They'll move on to something else. There's a lot of options, you know what I mean? And so that's the part that concerns me. But other than that, I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to hear at least that it's Unreal Engine. I know a lot of people are like, why Unreal Engine? Why ask why? I say, let it happen, my good people. But yeah, I just hope that they nail it, man. I want to see something about this. Hopefully next year we'll hear something concrete. Still haven't heard anything about Creative Assembly doing what they were doing. Is it Creative Assembly? I keep mixing them up.
Yeah, for which franchise?
They were, if it was not Creative Assembly, it's another team that was working on.
Oh, you're talking about Certain Affinity. Yeah, we
Certain
don't know what.
Affinity,
Yeah, we don't
thank
know
you.
what Certain Affinity was working on. I mean, it's supposedly it has morphed into a bigger project. The rumor that I heard is that it was going to be on the level. Again, this is just a rumor, so please don't quote me or whatever. I heard it from like everyone else. You search the internet long enough, you're going to find a rumor that it was more in the lines of ODST. Is that true? Well, I
I heard
freaking
that
hope
too.
so. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you, but
Maybe there was that, and I always mix them up with Creative Assembly. I don't know why, but I guess the CA thing. But
yeah,
the
it's
thing
fine.
is,
It's close. Certain Affinity,
yeah,
Creative Assembly. You can I could see where you can make that mistake, but you're definitely
yeah.
onto something. I hope that we do hear something, but I want to hear from 343. I want to hear about the standard, the Halo that we know and love, right? That's what we all want to hear. I mean, first of all, shout out to Scott Gamer Dude. He says, not the oldest, Boom. He turned 56 yesterday. Happy belated birthday, Scott. Thank you of course, for sharing that with us, for being here, and hopefully you had an amazing day with the
Happy
family and
belated.
friends.
Happy belated, but don't try to age shame Boom to make yourself seem younger, Scott.
Yeah.
You see how
Well,
you
I
try
mean,
to do
I'm
that,
a
man?
53, so he's actually technically the older one. He's got me
There
by
you
3 years,
go.
so
There you go. He
it
tried
actually
to
makes me
throw
feel
you in
younger.
there. Yeah, he
And I
tried to
will
throw
tell
you in there to
you,
use himself. I
I
saw that.
I will tell you that after the 18-minute workout that I did to Sam Smith, my arms are like rubber bands, bro. Like I'm dead. I may have to catch a nap after this show, but we'll talk about that another time. Listen, Crazy Lou Gaming, you are a big Halo fan. For me, I think that this is fantastic news. I'm gonna say this. This is going to probably be an opinion that a lot of people do not appreciate or like, but I am in the camp where Halo Infinite as a multiplayer they're doing it right. Every month they have a new operation, there's new armor, there are new maps. The community has stepped up in a big way with Forge. It is limitless, right? That is always going to exist where it is. It's going to use the slipspace engine as it should, and that's fine. The next Halo, which of course is rumored at this point to be an Unreal Engine 5, I think it should launch as its own single player, story driven narrative game. I don't think they have to include multiplayer in the form and fashion of what you see on your screen. Should it have co-op? 1,000%. Should it have split screen? Even more thousands percents. It should have everything that Halo is to all of us OGs and especially the new kids. And multiplayer, well, multiplayer could be what it is. It's separate. It's free to play. That's why I think that there is an opportunity here for a real bring back to classic Halo, and I think Unreal Engine 5 would be a great engine to be in order to tell the story. Let's get your take on the new moves to management within 343.
It's awesome, Boom. It's awesome. I heard a lot of people complaining about how this Halo is like for when it began. We all know it kind of like had a rocky start, but then along the way, it starts little by little get better and better and better. But yes, it's still missing like some key features, right? Like for example, I've always asked, like, okay, why don't they sit down and say, okay, let's play Halo from the first to what is now. Let's sit down and play it. Let's see what are we missing? What key features are we missing to make the next Halo game better? What can we bring from the old games back to over here? What can we do to make this Halo more interesting or to bring people, back to the love they had for Halo? Because either way, though, I know this Halo is amazing. The multiplayer is fun when you play with friends and all that stuff, but it's still, it feels like, yes, they're missing something. It's like they're missing something. And since we saw the whole Gears of War thing, which, man, I'm really happy they decided like to do a turnaround. And I think, and I hope it is. This is gonna be pretty much a reboot to the series. You know, reboot it. Let's take it to another journey through Gears, which I hope that's what it is. Because I mean, they did it pretty much with God of War back in the other day, back in the PlayStation days. It was kind of like a reboot type of scenario thing. So my question is, though, and I got a question. I mean, wouldn't you guys like to see this also play for Halo? Like, give Halo a little reboot, probably change a little bit the story, or do something. I don't know, but Halo's missing something. Halo is missing something. I don't know what it is, but it's got to get like something to pump it up the way it was. No,
I mean, it's interesting because where do you? I mean, if I mean that's a great question, Louis. I mean, I think we could spend an hour on that. A reboot, I don't like the idea because I don't want Halo to not exist from what we remembered in Combat Evolved. I think that there is something to be said about keeping that lore. The problem that I think they may run into is a lot of people are going to be looking for a continuation to what happened at the end of Infinite, which it was a wide open opportunity for additional story, which we know we are not getting. So I don't know where they go from there. I mean, it's you know what, I don't even have an answer for that, to be honest with you. I don't want a reboot, to be honest with you. I like what they did with Combat Evolved. I think I mean, do they pull a Gears E-Day and go before Combat Evolved? I don't know if they should. I'd like to see a further story, but it is going to be a tightrope walk for them, in my opinion.
Yeah, because like I said, though, it's missing something. I mean, there's something that's got to be missing, and they got to sit down and play, like I said, play throughout the games, bring something to it. I mean, you can Halo's got millions of ideas you can bring up to the table, right? And so I don't know, but for me, there is something that's like you said. I played the campaign; it was beautiful, it was wonderful. It left something wide open. Should they continue with that campaign? I think they should. Yeah, I think they should continue with it and see where it ends too. But at the end of the day, though, like I said, they gotta sit down, play throughout the whole Halo, and see, okay, let's see what we can bring back from the old games to make Halo what it was and make it better than what it is today. Way more better, because of course it's not saying it's bad, but it needs to get that Halo factor back in there.